Yeah, we got bottles.
Should have been announced that. I appreciate things, boss.
Blessings. Those are blessings from the Queen Mother Goddess. We got to make sure the feminine energy, and she has blessed us today. We are honored for your performance, Queen Mother Goddess. Dua. So, we're here to celebrate the rising of the star Sultan. So I shall begin a small dissertation. And we shall begin as, there is an order that applies to all things. This order is called the order of existence. It was issued by the creator of all things, Ra Nebuchadnezzar, to ensure the continuous perpetual evolutions of all things. So when I speak to you today of the New Age order, of the great golden age of Ma'at Habiyasah, and the New Age order star gospel of the self-creation of Ra Nebuchadnezzar, it is of this order that I speak. The first law of existence is that energy must be spent. The first law of energy is to always exist and expand. Many are the mysteries concerning the universe and the life that is found within it. This is also true regarding the theories, laws that govern them. Who am I? Where do I come from? Why am I here? And where am I going? All the known and unknown forces of the universe are of one origin. Necessity becomes the order by which these forces reveal themselves. Existence demands that energy be spent. Existence is realized by the expansion of energy that must have a source. In the case of our universe, life is always associated to heat and movement. But the energy that drives the entire universe is of the direct result of the self-creation of Ra Nebuchadnezzar, radiation, which produces the anomalies of attraction and repulsion, along with the phenomenons of heat and movement. Anuk Patal Sikasa. I am Patal Sikasa. I am the royal scribe, master craftsman, and keeper of time of Tesha Corral, the Holy House of Ra. It is my pleasure, no, it is my honor to be the first person to introduce to you today in this new age order of the great golden age of Ma'ala Biasar, the Ipeteru, Shabit Tempuaru Pama'at, the ancient Masarian Khemetic solar symbol lunar calendar, and its unique concept of star time. According to the new book of knowledge, a calendar is a system for keeping track of time. It is a kind of clock for the entire year. While the clock measures seconds, minutes, and hours of the day, a calendar measures the days, weeks, and months of the year. This is the accepted definition of a calendar. However, in ancient Tameri, Tanisha, Taneferu, Taneteru, Kemet, Naga, Egypt, the calendar is a seasonal time chart that was regulated and observed by understanding the precession of the stars. From a section entitled How the Modern Western Calendar Measures Time, I'm sorry, family. I'll dehydrate, baby. The basic units of a calendar are day, week, month, and year. Our modern day calendar has 365 days, divided into 12 months as well as 52 weeks with 1 extra day. Each week has 7 days. These divisions of time are based upon the movement of the earth, stars, and moon. Of the earth, moon, and sun. Where are the mention of stars? Our most earliest ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors star-dated everything. In the temple of Peru that was discovered by Napoleon's General de Saxe during the French intervention of African Egypt in 1798 AD, inside on a ceiling in an upper room, they found the zodiac of Denver. Starting with the sign of the lion, Leo, during the spring equinox. This circular zodiac indicates a celestial alignment that occurred over 38,000 years ago, making it the oldest and most complete of any astronomical charts ever found on the earth. This zodiac of 12 astrological signs, written in an African dialect, demonstrates that it was a gift of superior black minds and supersedes the accepted concept that suggests that the Chaldeans or Babylonians were the originators of astrology and astronomy, and or that zodiac with its Latin name were the result of Roman efforts. Remember, zodiac in Latin means zoo. That famous gap always presents itself. Well, let me reassure you today, right now, that 38,000 years ago, there was no Europe or Rome, and there were no Hebrews or Greeks nor Babylonians. The zodiac can be observed within the square center of the Asarian solar calendar. The alignment also indicates a time when the star Sirius goes cosmically with Ra, our sun, under the sign of the great year Pisces. This helical rising of two kindred stars occurs every 1,461 years and was in unison with the Epagamo days, or ancient Egyptian New Year's, and was known as the symbolic year, or year of years. Now, here was an ideal model of a 38,000-year-old calendar that was in perfect alignment with the stars, and it also was rejected. Why? Let us examine the information that is and was available. The ancient Egyptians conceived of a cycle that included day and night and Dwat and Twat. And these periods were awarded a certain amount of time. In the modern calendar, this cycle is called a day, the amount of time it takes the sun to rise, set, and then rise again. Each day includes a period of sunlight and darkness that was determined by the rotation of the earth and the position of the sun. The ancient Egyptians, of course, they gave names to these days, and this practice is still continued. In early calendars, a month was the amount of time it took the moon to complete its orbit and undergo its cycles, recalling the very early calendars that were based upon the cycles of the moon, where each cycle of the moon takes 29.5 days. Compiling a calendar of 12 months would result in a year that is only 354 days long. The Romans, they had 10 months in their early calendar, which ended in the month of Dise, 10, which had the shortest of years. If we add 13, we arrive at 383.5 days. There is no correct solution if the moon is the principal inspiration. Today it is known that it takes 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds for the Earth to complete a revolution of the sun, which designates a year. This created a problem with what to do with the extra 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds. How could the extra time be taken into account? The European answer was leap year. To make up the extra time, 1 day is added to the calendar every 4 years. Because of this, many uncertainties have occurred, causing other cultures to create and retain their own calendar. From the zodiac, since it's the one found in Daniel, the ancient Egyptians formulated a 10-month solar calendar. This understanding is reflected within the Masarian solar calendar, which introduces itself as a star chart that is derived from most earliest ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors' concept of time and space. It would please me very much at this time that if everyone here was gathered here today and listening here today would consider this premeditation for a calendar. In the vernacular, outer space was the timeless void of darkness before the introduction of the light. Ra was the light, and as the light moved within the void, time was introduced. Our sun is a member of a trinity of suns that played major roles in the development of our quadrant of stars, planets, moons, and life forms. The word was given, and the 3 stars began to move apart from one another. The names are Ra, Sirius, and Alcyone. As this separation occurred, the surface of each was lessened by great masses of viscous matter that seemed to escape into space, only to be captured by the gravitational pull of its receptor. These 3 stars highlight much of what it is that we see today as we gaze upward and outward. Our view is restricted only by the natural alignment of our Earth and our northern hemisphere. From these bodies of light comes the makings of our zodiac, our solar system, and all the visible constellations. With this natural order as the grid, libation, the 10-month solar calendar was fashioned. Our solar system has 10 heavenly bodies, 1 sun and 9 planets. Thus they factor together a calendar of 10 months, each consisting of 36 days, 4 weeks in a month, 9 days in a week. They developed a system of 60 seconds to a minute and 60 minutes to an hour. This was done by adding the 12 miles a second it takes the sun to travel around Alcyone. Multiplied 10 times gave them 120 miles of movement in 60 seconds until realizing that at each cycle of 60, a new star alignment occurred. Thus, the Sidral year was born. It came to be understood that a Sidral sighting of Sirius occurred annually at the same time. The sighting of Sirius provided the answers to the number of hours in one orbit of the Earth around the Sun, which is 8,766 hours. Armed with this information, a calendar can be accurately devised consisting of 10 months of 360 days, 4 weeks a month, 9 days a week, and 8,766 hours a year.
That's right.
What made the solar calendar so unique was this concept of time allotment, such as allotting 12 hours in a day and 12 hours in a night,
That's right.
and 35 minutes that were split between the duat and the twat, the latter being the periods between sunrise and sunset respectively. This resulted in the sighting of familiar stars at a predictable and seasonal occurrence. Each day of the year was heralded by a star that gave identity to your significance. And in this way, they related time and space and the stars. Every second was accounted for, and the natural order was observed. This produced the first of the ancient Egyptian calendars and was known as a solar calendar of 360, 24-hour, 35-minute days of the year based on the sighting of stars. This is an understanding that went beyond the moon and allowed 100% accuracy. Now, some of you in the listening audience here at the museum, the National Center of African American Artists, in front of Tomb Room, in front of Spalter's Tomb Room, may want to ask or ponder the question, did our most earliest ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors equate the moon to our calendar? Yes. Strangely enough, in their own way, they did. Jehuti, the teacher of Asar, was known as the Neter of the moon. It was under his instigation that the Jehushian calendar, consisting of 365 days and a quarter day, comes into being. Because of the strong effect that the moon displays in other calendars, they are without a doubt derived from this system. The story continues. in classic ancient Egyptian pageantry that weaves back with fiction and theories that involve the movement of the stars. It was after the earth was saved from the insects and the planet was ready for humankind that Ra had forbid the allotment of more time so that mankind could be born on the earth. Only within the existing order of time would life forms be allowed. All the other forms were created and surviving. Only mankind need be added to complete the 7 forms of life that are found on the earth. Seb, the earth nature, petitioned Lord Yehuti, the moon nature, to plead with Ra, the sun nature, on a lot of the time, so that his mate Newt, the sky nature, could give birth to the earth Netaru. But Ra was unrelenting.
All right now.
It was known that the great company of gods and goddesses was often gathered and engaged in games of chance. Ra was in need of someone to give names to all the forms of life which he had allowed to evolve. And in this way, his works would have meaning. You see, he was beginning to grow old from the billions and billions of years of existence. He found this task too tedious. A wager was arranged between Ra and Yehuti, with the winner indulging the other. Yehuti would name all the forms of life which God had allowed to evolve if he should lose. While should God lose, the 35 minutes that exist between the duat and the twat would be forfeited. In a wager that is known only to the great Wat Netaru's gods and goddesses, Lord Yehuti was the victor. He claimed this prize. The 35 minutes of time he gained control of, leaving an exact cycle of 24 hours. 10 months, 4 weeks, 9 days, totaling 360. The 35 minutes were multiplied by 360, totaling 540 days. Added on to a year that still had 8,766 hours. So the question now is, how can we add 5 1/4 days and not have a leap year? This also clarifies the final issues of the moon in our calendar. If you recall that on the zodiac of Dendra, there are mentions of the Apagamon days, or Red Fest, ancient Egyptian New Year. These are the days that were gained by Lord Yehuti. The 5 1/4 days that are left over after 360-day Earth orbit are the days that the Earth Netarus were born. In the Neteru, Shabit Dem Twaru Pamad, ancient Masari Khemetic solar civil lunar calendar, and the Neteru star timeline, the Come TV edition. They are visible. They are visible in the month of Batar. They are visible in the month of Batar. With the moon going through its phases, signaling the sighting of the star substance Cyrus in the 5 1/4 days of observance, until the star grid aligns again, starting a new year. These 5 1/4 days are accounted for by fasting, meditation, prayer, festival, and celebration, and observance. Every day of the orbit of the earth is accounted for in that singular revolution. There was no need of leap year. This is the understanding that was lost, stolen, and denied with the intervention of Julius Caesar and the Romans. It is obvious that the Romans dissected the Jewish calendar, which is in use today, added names and interpretations and the concept of leap year. Remember, the word calendar originates from the ancient Masarian solar system, and the meteorological star timeline is all of these calendars in one, with 3 versions that encompass the message that was depicted on the ceiling of the ancient Egyptian temple of Helical in Dendra, and in closing this short presentation presented to you by the Nagatian Institute of Cosmic Awareness, Spiritual Consciousness, and Universal Enlightenment, the Naga Association, and the Tesha Parad Holy House of God, I would like to say, in the words of our paternal father, Asa Unefa Kenki Amenti, that within the whole of the universe, nothing is ever added and nothing is ever lost. Dua, 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 dua. So in review, Dooley. So in review, the original calendar of mankind, the solar calendar, there's 24 hours and 35 minutes in every day. Okay? That means that it takes the Earth 360 days to go around the sun. The Jehusian calendar has 24 hours in every day, so it takes 365 days to go around the sun, 365 and a quarter days. So we have to begin to break down the math, the science, and our cultural, cosmic, collective, cultural, spirituality with astrology and astronomy to have absolute accountability and star validation, because this is not spookism. This is our story. This is first frequency specifically. So we have to begin to understand we're not talking about his story or his story. This is our story, first frequency specifically. So let's get it deep. Let's put it in the work. Let's put it in the work. The Earth has 3 motions. The 3 motions of the Earth. It rotates on its axis. 24 hours and 35 minutes, but under 24 hours and 35 minutes, there's only 6 forms of life. Plant, insects, reptiles, water creatures, birds that fly, and animal. Men and women don't exist. So it's a perfect calendar. 8,766 hours in a year. The 8,766 hours means that it's a sidereal calendar, which means the star subject breaks the plane, traverses the elliptic plane, and returns to its original position in respect to the fixed stars. It's a sidereal year. If you Google it, they're going to get that word for word. If you Google it. Okay? So now, 24 hours, so the 360-day calendar has 24 hours and 35 minutes in every day, has 6 forms of life. We don't exist. It's a perfect calendar. Enter calendar number 2, the Jehusi calendar. The 24-hour day, because Jehuti won the wager. If anybody was listening to the story, the dissertation, you remember Jehuti won the wager. He took the 35 minutes, he multiplied it 30 times, because Seven-Nut wanted to have children. What does that mean? That means the sky and the earth wanted to mate. Because the only thing that separates the sky from the earth is light. So when the sun rises, you see the sky. But when the sun sets, where'd the sky go? You see stars. Where'd the sky go? Somebody tell me? That's what I'm talking about. You have to use your internal awareness. Okay? The sky and the earth separated. So when the sun went down, the sky came down to the earth. And when the sun rises, the sky comes back up. The firmament celestial vault ascends. And when the light goes down, the firmament of the celestial vault descends. And this is mathematically and scientifically and generically, they're making love. And Seb shooting blanks. Ain't no kids coming out of this. Because there's no allotment of time. Raul said there's nothing I can do for Seven-Nut. Time's already been allotted for. Just 6 forms of life. They're creating and surviving. Everything's groovy. We don't need your kids out here. And the Jehuti. Seb petitioned Jehuti to plead with Ra for the allotment of time, if you remember the quote saying. Because Ra, something I can do. I need your rotten kids running around here. I'm trying to keep a little humor here. It's not a text. I kind of admit that one in. But I'm trying to get everybody to take it easy and loosen up because I need you to think here. Okay? I'm trying to keep a little comedy in here. Okay? Because it ain't that serious. It's only serious when it's irreversible, meaning you've already met your expiration and never had your first day. You never acquired the ability and experience to follow the being because you did not realize of your immortality. So I'm trying to show you how it's taught in the pyramid technique, primordial technical discipline. You have to have your sacred science, your divine mathematics, and your culture. You have to triangulate. Just like if they was looking for you right now, if the feds are looking for you right now, they're going to triangulate the phones. Oh shit, we got ping, ping, ping. He's over here. He's at the museum, baby. Go get him. They're using your same technology and understanding against you. You don't even know it. All they do is take what you already mastered. They corrupt, they fragment, they plagiarize, and they regurgitate it back to you and tell you it's his story. All of a sudden, it's his story. So that means now you got layers of Rielda, Doom, Sugar Honey Iced Tea, for those that didn't get it, shit. Layers upon Doom, upon Doom, upon Doom, upon Doom, upon Doom. hidden in the doom is your story or our story. But what they didn't realize is that that doom is fertilizer. And inside that doom, the doom beetle, Kepra, goes in. And Kepra goes in and germinates the doom. It turns it into a spherical object, a ball. Then Kepler starts pushing it backwards from west to east to west, like the sun crossing the sky. And at the end of its journey, a beetle comes out of the egg, out of the ball, out of the sphere, out of the orb. It's called self-creation. This is what we're here to learn, the concept of self-creation. I'm trying to mix your little culture, spirituality with the science, with the math, because I need you to use your brain here. I need you to exercise this triangulation. So back to the mathematics of the calendar. So the 24 hours. So now we have 24 hours in every day. That means there's 24 hours and 35 minutes is the original calendar. 6 forms of life. Right? We're not here. 7 new making love. Ain't nothing happening because Ra said time's already been allotted for. And the Jehuti, the Lord of the sacred light, writing the sacred language, the mathematician, is your Lord Jehuti. He finangled the bangle. He's like the guy in the office finagling the money, we call it the accountant. He's the accountant. Right? So he found out there was 35 minutes left over, and if he got control of the 35 minutes, it would not adjust or alter the variant of 8,766 hours. The whole thing is 8,766 hours. That's the mother equation. And now he won the 25. He won the 35 minutes. Now at the calendar number 2, there's 24 hours in every day. So we was talking about initially and reviewed the 3 motions of the Earth. The Earth rotates on its axis. It revolves around the sun. 360 days on the 24 hours and 35 minutes, or 365 days on the 24-hour cycles. Okay? So everybody fluctuate with me, like Princess, like Princess West. Welcome, yes, the great queen mother in transition. She used to say, "Are you with me, people?
Yeah.
Are you with me? Can you dig it?" I have to do something from the 70s. Can you dig it? I'm trying to keep a little humor here. Okay? So now, the third motion of the Earth rotates. Movement number 1. The Earth revolves around the sun. Movement number 2, the annual cycle. Movement number 3, the Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees from vertical, which makes it tilt, which makes it wobble. So the Earth wobbles now between the combined gravitational pull of the moon and the sun, maybe the Osiris and Ripper, and Netherus knows what else is gravitationally pulling, making the Earth tilt from magnetic law. It's tilted 23.5 degrees and it wobbles. One complete wobble is 26,000 years. It's called the phenomenon of precession, or the precession of equinox. So you learned in school they told you about the rotation, they told you about the revolution, they tell you about the tilt. But they cut you right off. I bet you don't know nothing about after the tilt. You don't. Because now they got to tell you about the precession of equinox. They have to tell you about the phenomenon of precession, which means now they get to hook you up with that Milky Way galaxy. They got to hook you up with that 26,000 year cycle. And that's on our quasi Milky Way galaxy. And then the Milky Way galaxy, we spin around the Milky Way galaxy. It's 26,000 years to make one complete orbit around the zodiac. And then the Milky Way galaxy, it takes us 250 million years to go one complete move around the Milky Way galaxy. And the Milky Way galaxy is expanding with the universe. And guess what? There's trillions upon billions upon millions, hundreds of thousands of more black holes and galaxies that are expanding the universe. So this is what we call continuous evolution. So we're trying to get everybody here to see this whole mathematical equation and how they stole time from you. The question now is, they stole our cosmic time. How is it? I know when I went to bed last night, I knew I was a true warrior. I knew I was a true king. But lo and behold, they got me in the archives of inhumanity, a mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slave. That they're supposed to put their knee on my neck. It's a law. All black people must die. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows it but black people. All theologians know this. All ecclesiastics. It's in the public domain. It's on the Georgia Guidestones.
Right. Right. Right.
Everybody knows this but you.
Right.
They got you believing in some Jesus, some invisible guy who never even existed. He was Ptolemy the First, so tears. That's right.
Again?
His name was Ptolemy the First, Soter, Serapis, September, Meriamen. He was a general of Alexander's army.
That's right.
And at that time, they brought out a dossier. They made a dossier out of it. The dossier, you know, like the Trump report, the Mueller report. And when they opened up, so they found out when we pissed, when we shit, what we believe in, where my woman's going, where I'm going. They figured out everything. What was our spirituality? And they knew we was governed by the sun. We were stardust. We came from the stars, we returned to the stars, and our time is based upon the stars. So what did they do? They finagled the bangle. They took the sun and the star and threw it out the window. The Gregorian calendar is not a solar calendar. It's a lunar cycle calendar. How many days are in a month? 30 days. For waxing and waning, any calendar that has 30 days is a lunar cycle calendar. Every calendar on the face of this earth today, I don't care if you're Muslim, Ethiopian, Chinese, Islam, whatever you are, you're under a 30-day cycle. A 30-day cycle is an agricultural calendar. It's gonna grow, it's gonna feed you. You can grow crops. You can feed you, but you can't find your divine birthright. You cannot find immortality. And that's what, so you ask yourself, how is it that they can pass down to their children and their descendants how to maintain our mental, physical, spiritual subjugation? Keep us mental, physical, spiritual subjugated slaves, keep us Hellenized and lobotomized, keep us suffering from the paralysis of the analysis.
Right.
As Dr. Professor Leonard Jeffries would say, my great Siva, y'all suffering from the paralysis of analysis. And as Dr. Kaba Khemetic would say, I think you out of your cotton picking mind. Oh, I know I'm out of my cotton picking mind. The problem is you still in the cotton picking mind. You know I had to throw Kaba in there. Keep the Kaba, keep the room. Okay? So, injured humanity, blip, 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 blip. Let me triangulate. Come back to Earth, Pata. Okay. Injured humanity. So how is it that they can pass it down to their children to maintain status quo? Even with the coronavirus, it's got you have to come back into your spirituality or into yourself, because now you got time. You can't go to work, you can't go to plantation no more. You can't get up and go to plantation. Kids are not going to school, ain't never going back to school. Right. Now we're talking about today, we have the virtual learning center producing thousands of SIBAs under one umbrella. But anyways, getting back to the cosmic story of what happened to us, why are we in this position? Why did we wake up and don't know how to tell time? Why you got a watch on that's got GMT and UTC? GMT is Greenwich Mean Time. UTC is Universal Time Coordinated. That means Stonehenge, England. Okay? They claim that as the center of Earth, and they gained control of Africa. They moved it from the Great Pyramid, which was located on 30 longitude, 30 latitude, and 29 longitude, latitude, 29 blah, blah, blah. They say 30-30. So they moved it 52 parallels north of the equator. Okay? So how is it they pass? You have to ask, so what they do, ask yourself, what do you do in the morning when you get up? Oh, I fed the kids. I brushed my teeth. I don't know, no, that ain't what you did. You know what you did. You know. For 4,000 years, you ain't figured out what you did in the morning? Is that the type of spell you under? You know what you did. When you woke up, open that eye, looked up on that wall, because what? You gotta find out what time it is, what day it is. You know you headed to the plantation. When you looked on that wall, they got you with the Gregorian calendar. Waiting for you. I know you're gonna wake up. I'm right up here. Look up here, look up here. Gotcha. You're on the lunar cycle calendar. Now, you look over to the other eye. Now you're on the desk, look on the desk for that watch, for that time clock, because you know you gotta find out what time. You know, you look at the clock, you look at the calendar, and you looking for payday. You're looking for that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, foolishness, Gregorian days of the week. Today's Saturday. So if I see one Siba come out of his mouth again on Facebook, welcome to all welcome to our consultation on this Saturday afternoon. He just Hellenized you, and you didn't even know it. He just gave you the paralysis of the analysis. That's called contraband. Black people conditioning other black people. Black people don't even have to be here. We got you trained to train yourself. It's called UNP, unnecessary pain and punishment. You voluntarily punish yourself. It's called contraband. See what he's going on. So now let me get you there. I know you got plenty of questions. I got you covered, baby. I'm going to answer your questions you're going to say. So now you looked up in the watch. So you got you with the watch and you got you with time. Now you go to the bathroom and you brush your teeth, cleanse yourself, come back out, go in the kitchen, and then go in the kitchen, and then you eat his food. Dag nabbit, you just don't want to give it. And you fed the food to your children. You just wiped out a whole generation. And didn't even know it, Paul. UNP, unnecessary pain and punishment. Voluntary, you're manufacturing pain. All because you can't answer the question. What is the question? Queen Mother Goddess. Queen Mother Goddess. Joy. The question is, who am I? The question is, where do I come from? The question is, why am I here? The question is, where am I going? This is the question that the Greeks and the Romans came to Africa to find out. And when they found out where it was going to lead them, was to our immortality, which they could never go. It was like, shit. Well, we taking this shit. So Caesar came, eventually. Caesar said, "Io vide, io vede, io vecchi." Io vide, io vede, io vecchi. I came, I saw, and I conquered. And he raped, pillaged, and killed your kids, and raped your men. They raped the men out of this joint. Really, they didn't want the women no more, they want the men. These Romans were off the hook. They took everything. Then they killed the firstborn to the next generation. They implement the fear tactics, but that was just a gloom and doom story of us. Now let's go into the spirituality that's about immortality of the cosmic revelations around Nebuchadnezzar. This is the Star Gospel. This is the Star Gospel. So this is how we get there with time. So you can't get there without knowing how to tell time. Because time is the movement or measurement of the light through the void of deep, dark, cold space from one point of distance to another. Speed, 186,000 miles per second. Light is the absence of darkness. Darkness is the absence of light. Light is the giver of life to all things upon the terrestrial plane within the atomic domain. Life is the consciousness and awareness of being. Life is the generic expression of the light, and it's only found in three forms: solids, liquids, and gases. Matter, nature, the elements, the netarus, the gods and goddesses. However, the light is not the Zep-Tepi. Zep making nothing is first Tepi means time. The first time. It's not the Zep-Tepi. It is not the origins of existence and creation of the universe. The light has a mirrored reflection. And that mirrored reflection is what? Subatomic. The cosmic egg, radiation, God never tests you right. So, this is how we get there. We get there mathematically, first of all, on the light and radiation, just so you can see it right in front of you. The light casts a shadow, casts its light on anything, it creates a shadow. Ask yourself what the shadow is. Does anybody know what the shadow is?
Yeah.
One Mississippi?
Yeah.
Does anybody know what the shadow is? Two Mississippi?
Yeah.
Does anybody know what the shadow is?
The reflection of the sun. Self light.
That is a symbolic symbol that represents the car represents light, right? And And then now he went, so the only way to answer the question, you have to know the meduneta. The symbol of the two hands outstretched is ka. Ka means double. Now, also they say double, but it means dualism. It represents light and radiation equally. How do we know that radiation is opposite light? Because when that sun casts his light down on anything, it casts a shadow. So what is that shadow? Light. I'll tell you what. Your butt get hot enough, I bet you're gonna jump in that shadow to cool off though. You know that much. But what is it esoterically? And esoterically and metaphysically with the cosmic metaphor. It represents that if the light is atomic energy, because the light is a hydrogen atom, there's a proton, a neutron, and a nucleus surrounded by, surrounded by a nucleus, there's an electron. It's an atom. The sun is a hydrogen atom. It represents atomic energy. So that light shines down on anything, it's going to cast a shadow. So that shadow shows you the mirrored reflection of the light. So if the light is atomic, then the shadow has to be subatomic. This means now that it represents radiation. So now we begin to see parts of the universe where that which was once incomprehensible and ununderstandable can now be revealed just by applying simple our primordial temporal disciplines of our cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality. This is our story. So I'm trying to teach you how to do this. So I'm not going to be here. They're going to assassinate me. You already know what they're going to do to me. There's a law. There's a law that says for 4,000 years, anyone who teaches a melanated person the divine birthright of immortality, there's a contract of it. There's a 4,000-year-old contract on anyone that wakes you niggas up and lets you know that you're nagas. You're not a nigga, you're a naga. All they did was switch the etymology. They checked the vowels around on you. So if a naga is the immortal one, if the naga is the universal monarch, the divine feminine, and the masculine, what is the nigga? The nigga never existed. It doesn't even exist. It's a name they made up. They call you derelict. A derelict means you're lower than a snail on there's some foolishness. You go look up a nigga, there's no such thing as a nigga. So now you don't have no culture, you got nothing. And in the beginning you had everything. And all it is comes back is just around to tell time. I'm just trying to let y'all see how y'all be. I'm trying to keep you scientifically, mathematically, with your culture, spirituality, and understanding that your divine birthright is all the time is immortality. You was born with the gift of immortality. They stole it from you at your birth. Because the Gregorian calendar is January the 1st is on a Monday, 2020. 2021 is on a Tuesday. 2022 is on a Wednesday. 2023 is on a Thursday. And then 2024 jumps to Saturday because they got a leap year for you. So this means 7 years later, the star that was in the sky at your birthday is not there. They stole your birthday at your birth. And you didn't even know. You remember, oh, today's my birthday. Today's my birthday. The star ain't even there. Silly ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Yeah. I'm only using this because I'm trying to make y'all wake up and use that word. Stink. I know it stinks. You know what I'm saying? But we're nagas. I let you know we're nagas. Everybody knows that we're the nagas. We're the shimshas. We're the 50. We're the Khemetic. We're the Sivas. We're the top. We're the important ones of Ma'at. That's our story. That's right. Oh, let's tell you the smoking, boy. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. Got me all fired up. Goodness, you get that up. We going here. I'm like dehydrating, I'm sweating up here. I said, all right, let's go. C4. Are you telling me the camera's running out or your time's running out? What are you eyebrowing?
I'm saying the camera. Go ahead.
Okay, camera ran out.
It's going to.
Oh, it's going to. We're going to ran out of film.
Battery.
All right. You duck that from my paycheck. So, keep a little comedy here. Take the edge off.
You good.
You good? Thank you, C4. I said we're being filmed today by our brother C4 and C4 Sound the Songbook Productions, C4. And we're also here with the music of Kavaya Sounds with Kavaya Asar
by
Amen. Okay, we want our brother to be recognized over here. Let everybody know he's the musician, the performs to keep the frequency, keeps the resonance going. within our culture, spirituality. He's Boston's own. He's into getting the lessons. He forgot to hit the timbre. Listen, man, you're on a clock and you're getting paid. Play that music, white boy. I'm only playing. Keep the comedy. That's good. That's good. Comedy. Gotta keep the comedy here. Okay, it's fantastic. That's what I want to give you. And listen, I'm using my best material up here. I pay guys, I pay to bring these big money to write material for me. But we're here to receive your divine gift of immortality. And so, I wanted to let everybody know that they stole your star at your birth. So now you're injured humanity, you're a mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slave, and they stole your star. But guess what? We got Ramutep Queb with us. Ramutep Queb is the high Siva of Teshuvah, and he does the star charts and the natal charts, and he returns your star back to you with virtual star chart reading. So he takes you from into the primary ocean while he's getting ready to take you. I don't think y'all ready for that knowledge, because I think the sun's shifting. The shade might be too much for y'all to go cosmic right now. So we're going to let Ramutep Queb perform his Hesi and to tell everybody how you can ask him. Ask him how you can get your star back. As soon as he finishes Hesi, that's the question I want you to ask my elder Siva. How do I get my star back? This is Patal Seeker Sound. I'm bailing out on y'all. Y'all working me. Y'all worked me last night for 3 hours on Black Guys TV. I got 2 hours sleep. I'm out here. Y'all working me. All right? But it's my honor to be here. I present to you my #1 student of Teshuvah. Let it ride. The door's open? No. The porta potty. Yeah, the porta potty. The potty porta. The potty porta is open. The porta potty. The porta potty. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm doing this right now.
Man, listen, man. Time for you to step down now. Time to kill it, man. Yeah, it's over now. It's over. Yeah.
Ramutep Queb. And then you can ask him all the questions you want on how to return your divine birthright back to you.
All right.
Get to the food. Go get you some fruit.
Peace, everyone. Peace. Divine blessings to everyone. I'm Ramutep Queb. I am Ramutep Queb. I'm the official global distributor of the Rosarian Civil Lunar Calendar. I would like to perform a Hesi to gravitate us back to the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, and protection through the daily experience upon the humanity. And it goes as follows. Hete boo, dua, and Azarek, Ramech, Imhotep. Greetings, divine greatness, divine excellency, to the first family, Managa, Shimsaru, Esubiti, Amet, Sibat, Mugatach, the immortal ones of Ma'at, Cherry, phenomenon of procession, New Age order, great golden age of Ma'at Piyasam, and to all the citizens and descendants of the Nile Valley Cultural Collective Consciousness. And that's that for us, the mother of the Netaruj, the mistress of Pek, the maker of mankind, she who is mighty in, Usa Medan Nefer Hekau, divine words of power, mother of all initiation. Bless us humble servants for Ankh, now present, when we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily, the ancient Mathian ways and ancient Mathian truth. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the first day of the year after the Helical rising. 359 days remaining to Uben Subject Cyrus Rise. Upoat, Samatawi, Ren Pet Dejahel. New Year's celebration. The first day of the first month of Tehuti. The first day of Ra. The first day of the first month of the first season of Shimu. Year number 10. AFNK/ST after the founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Samatawi. Phenomenal Procession, New Age, Water, Break, Range, and Mafia. We ask that you bless our families, our friends, and all those who gather together to worship in your holy, sacred, ancient Tamarian name of us, Urmut, Swat, Lakaru, Panebu, for the art of seeking you, there is much comfort. So let it be spoken, let it be written, let it be done. So shall it be, for now and forevermore. Ra, Never Teshara, Panata, Pama'at, Onkwasi Jeb, Onkuja Seneb, Ubenekake, Panabu, Haru, Ma'ati. Rising always in divine excellence with my eye, all day, every day. Dua, dua, dua. All right. It's gonna be hard to these fans, man. They're crazy. They're crazy. But I like to perform my royal bow. Now, the topic of discussion was our birth star. It's a real thing. Something I was skeptical about when I first got in. However, when you do and you listen to what the Siba is telling you, you'll start to get the understanding that how the celestial firmament and the celestial bodies that's within start to move. Once you start tracking it and give your time or the day or the year or however you want to do it, moving through our procession, knowing that we have been, this is 10 years that we have been in the new age, meaning that we just hit the iceberg. Basically, on top of that, we're in a whole new cycle right now, because we all know in numerology, it's 1 through 9. With us transitioning into this new source of energy, that's not necessarily new, it's just new to us at this present time, because this is something that we have not witnessed within 24,000 years. Now, as we keep moving, we're starting to see the environmental relapse happen, and all these diseases and things of this nature, if you want to call it a disease, they're all distractions. In my opinion, they're all distractions. So what I want to offer everyone is their divine birthright. All I need is your birth date, according to the Gregorian calendar. I need your time of birth, and I also need your location of birth. Those are the main things that astrologers want from you. And then one thing that I'll try to mention to people when doing this type of astrology that I'm bringing to the table is to realize that that Gregorian day or 7-day system is something that you don't want to follow, because as you keep following that system, as I was showing on Black Ice TV 7 yesterday, that when going by the Gregorian calendar and going by the years, you're going to see that the sun jumps, and it does it every 4 years, hence where the Gregorian, what's it called, leap year system. With the sun jumping all the time, the sun is supposed to be in a certain position, and that's with your divine birthright. Behind that sun, or if you look at some of the metal next to you, you're going to see certain rays. Those rays or the solar bolts is how they say where your ka comes from. And then from that energy coming into the Khemetic, or the Queen Mothers, is where we basically come through. That energy, that same frequency is on that same day of your divine birthright. And then, like, say for instance, like today, if someone's born today, is anybody in the audience here that's born on the New Year? Anyone? Anyone? No? No? All right. Well, I was going to say, well, today will be your day. I would literally show you that the sun that presents itself today. If you understand about astrology, you understand that the sun itself is within Kepler. The best way to track it is as the sun goes down, skies are clear. As the sun moves down and moves down and moves down, you'll see a constellation. Whatever constellation that is, you'll understand that you'll see what we call Sekhmet or Helical or Leo. When the sun rises again, you're going to see the whole structure of, what's it called, the Pleiades. If you know what the Pleiades is, that's basically a constellation that's within Taurus, or what we call Ptah. From there, you'll see Orion, and then you'll see Orion pulling up the star Cyrus in a couple of days. So one thing I want to also mention is that there's also a hidden horizon here on the East Coast. If you look due east, I want to say within the morning, sometime between 5 or 6:16 in the morning, you'll see the constellation of Orion, you'll see the Pleiades, and then you'll see the star Cyrus rising before the sun. That will indicate that will be actually a new year here on the East Coast of the Americas. Then we also keep going through the line as the sun travels through to every part of the Americas, and we call it, once you get to the West Coast, they also have a hidden horizon as well. So the option of what we're presenting in our Year 10 Come TV edition, we're presenting to you the facts of there's a new year going on in every part of this earth. And as it goes and it travels and travels and travels, so far what I ended off was on September 11th on the Gregorian calendar. That will be the last day of the hidden horizon. So depending on where you're located at, the option of learning how to find your birth star is through the star scepter. People will tell you that, oh, it's a ship, it's a ship. Yes, there is a ship. However, if you track the star Cyrus and understand where Cyrus is, or is positioned within the fixed stars, you calculate from Cyrus, and you can find your birth star from there. Because that is the indicator and the reason why we are here today, in a sense, to understand that those energies are coming our way, and then that the sun has risen on our greatness now, that we're trying to get back to, or we should be going back to. However, we have a lot of these distractions, one of them being the Gregorian calendar, one of them being technology, one of them being those that runs the earth. With us gathering today is a very beautiful thing, and I, for one, am very grateful to each and every one of you being here, because you can do anything else right now and not understand that we are in that process of coming back, Samatawi, as we always present. There's the Samatawi of the unification of two lands. We're unifying our people. That's what we need to get back to. If we can get back to unifying our people once and forevermore, a lot of things will be changing. We have the connections, we have the earth, we have nature, basically has our back. Yeah. But we have to get back in tune. And the best way to get back in tune is find out where your birth star is. And then I would just want to say thank you for your time. Also, if you have any questions, come see me. I would like to show you on my iPad if you want to know where your birth star is. When it comes to the calendar itself, it takes me a time because it's a whole bunch of calendar calculations, things of that nature. However, I can give you the pictures of where it's at. And all you have to do is understand, especially if you're in the nighttime, you can see it at night, no matter where you go. However, on that day, your particular day, the sun is either risen in it or the sun is either fallen in it. Depending on how you see it, I'd definitely be welcome to help you all out.
Good question, brother.
Yes.
When people speak upon like special times on the planet, like a lot of people were talking that the wind things there. Yeah, but when it came to like people was talking about 2012, remember everybody was screaming that with the Mayan calendar and all that. How does that relate to science that we're doing right now? Is there a big shift that's occurring right now globally that we can speak upon?
Well, that's when it comes to the transition of the new age. As Siva always said, we are living in two great ages.
Okay.
A lot of people don't really concept it. Like with the concept, we're going from one age to another. We are, how you say, bear witness to a change.
Okay.
That's where how I understand it. It's just more so we're coming into a change. That change we have not seen for 24,000 years.
24,000 years. Wow.
That's going through the procession.
Gotcha.
As Siva will tell you, we are in ground zero.
Gotcha.
Ground zero meaning that we
breaking his neck.
Start from this date and literally track everything.
He's breaking
My duty as in the Teshu Hara is to literally track the sun for the next 17 years of my existence on this plane. However, as we keep transitioning, and then hopefully the youth pick it up and watch the stars, because we don't want to come back into this predicament. Granted, we could, Granted, it might be. However, we have the power not to go back into this predicament.
Right.
It's just making sure that we understand how to track, how to feel, how to vibrate with, how to understand where we can connect to, what people we can connect with to push those, that, not necessarily that agenda, but more so into that form of the agenda. Basically, get back our plan.
Okay.
But to answer that one question, this is more so that particular question is more due to the the dealing with the Mayan calendar in a sense. You know, the dog guy, and they will tell us all that, you know, the war was supposed to end that day. It's not the war was supposed to end, it's just letting us know that we're going from one age to another. From us knowing that, everybody should just click right there, like, oh, okay, so this is that whole new shit. So using that energy from the ship is going to allow us to take on everything. And then with that being said, with us connecting back to the stars, I'm sitting there having a, how you say, epiphany. Because back in the 90s and the 80s, from my experience, I noticed the stars used to be very bright.
Huh.
For some reason, they haven't been bright lately, especially with us becoming older and older. So I had a little theory that I wanted to put out there. If I was to connect everybody back to their birth star, would those stars light back up? That's what I feel. Okay. But if I'm able to make that happen, boy, it's going to be a beautiful thing. You got a question? Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Any other questions?
Yeah, why that white dude almost broke his neck, though, seeing what was going on over here. I mean, he almost fell on his face, boy. He was jogging. He was like, he almost, that's about the third one, looked over here in amazement.
Right.
Total amazement of what's going on. Got to see what's going on, bro.
I seen about 5, 6 people really stop.
Got something to say?
Yes, sir.
About the renaming of the constellation, so we're not having a Europeanized tongue when we're speaking on things that are out. Like instead of saying, like you say,
Pisces.
I'm like, say it the right way the first time. Then you told me, I'm like, I already know what that one is. Don't say that other one. Renaming of our constellations to go back to what we originally called it.
All right, so that's the part that with the Ipen Rush, Victim Twa, Rupa Ma'at, what we done, and then also check out From TV. He has a program where myself, I met Joy behind us, and a brother named El Moore and Super Top, where we literally presented that what you were asking about. So what we named everything starting from for right now. We're in Kepler, what people know as Cancer. Next will be Leo or Sekhmet or Helical is what we call it. Then we have Os coming up next, what people are known as, aka Virgo. Then we have Ukuwat for Libra. We have Serket for Scorpio. And then I also introduced the 13 Zodiac, which we named Nepet, or Nebuchadnezzar for the masculine and feminine energy. And then next coming into line is Neat, or what people know as Sagittarius. And then you have Moon, which is what people place for Capricorn. Then we have, which we are on the angel of Ma'at, which is what people know as Aquarius. Then we have Set, which is the age that we just left, which is Pisces. Then we have Amen, which we know of Amen Ra, as on the age of what you call Aries. Then you have Taurus, which we named Ptah, or Haru. But we can't hear you. In that video, if you look into it, you'll see that we renamed everything, and then we're trying to get balance to the masculine and feminine, and from there we should be good to go. And then we'll leave off in Gemini, which is Shu and Teflon, and then coming right back around in the procession.
So contact information, how do people get to you, and how do we get to know like all this information from you, coming from you?
All right, you can either reach me on Facebook as Robin Tef Web, either contact me on Instagram as Ramatep_Queb, or you can just basically get my email or my phone number.
Spell it.
Spell it. Spell it. Or in English is RAMUTEF_QEB.
Thank you.
No doubt. Any other questions?
What is the benefit to knowing your real day?
From my understanding, it's more dealing with vibrations and frequency. When you know your own, when you know your day and you know it's coming. A lot of people, if you understand,
Celebrating the wrong birthday.
yeah, basically celebrating the wrong birthday. We all know that we all love our birthday. It's just something that we do, something that we celebrate, something that we cherish. The reason why we cherish it is because of that star. And if you, I don't know if you can relate or recollect during your youth or present day moment. Anytime you had a birthday, have you not looked into the stars? Any day. I don't know, not one person who's not looked up, not one time during their own birthday. What are you looking for? That's what I want to press the question. What are you looking for? Exactly. The star. That's what you're looking for. It's subconsciously you're doing it, but you don't know why. And the reason why is because when that day comes, you ever notice during your span of your existence, you ever notice you had like a really good, great birthday? Just everything went right, everything just was like perfect. And the reason why is because on that particular day, your star actually lined it up on that day. The thing about it now is that how they shifted, when Bush shifted that whole daylight savings, you know, that really tore everything up. And when that happened, now when I see everybody now, when I do their star, that thing has literally jumped months, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple days, all because of not necessarily where you're located, but that whole time frame of UTC and GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time or Universal Time Coordinate, or what they use now is Zulu time, or what we have today, we kind of use both Zulu time and the, what's it called, GMT. So, yeah.
Again, for the record, where can we find information and you and, you know, is there a website, anything? For more information.
As far as website goes,
Any contact information you have for the record.
for the record. All right, again, it's
I got a question for you. Will there be an app that we can download so that it can function on our phones so that we can follow the progress of the set calendar?
Right. Information.
Yes, it works. Yes, it is.
Information.
definitely in the works.
You got some brothers that can help you out with some code. He has a network of young brothers and sisters.
Plug.
Right, code. So
He plugged
when we
that.
got ready to get some Nubian kids involved with
He
the young
plugged that
brothers,
nice.
the next generation.
Nice plug.
Get ready. You know, to jump in. Put their skills to the test.
He still didn't answer my question, brother.
What was the question?
For the record, information that people watching the video gonna want to know where to find this information.
Ramatep Queb
on Facebook.
Let's say it again. You gotta say it again.
and your
Instagram is Ramatep_Queb or Ramatep_Queb, or you can find me on Cash App as Cosmic Thoughts with a capital C, or money tag, money sign, Cosmic Thoughts, and then also on PayPal as well. It's Cosmic Thoughts on PayPal as well, or PayPalMe.com, however they do that. Or you can contact me on my phone number is 254-290-6175. Email is DTALIAFERRO30@yahoo.com or 84@gmail.com.
Got you. Thank you. Wow.
All right, thank you very much, Siba. Everybody know, it's about time to make $20. We're on sale right now, $20 with an autograph. can't beat that. And we give you a free CD that breaks down translation and utilization. Make sure I get your CD, okay, Stephen? I think I'm missing. I think I got 5 left. That are taking you get. But also, these are made by C4. Our video photographer right here, and the Songbook Productions. Let everybody know we're being recorded to Boston Zone, now C4 and Songbook Productions here. He makes these for us. So if you ever need anything like that, any type of photography we take care of, this is the brother we want to see, want to support.
Thank you.
So as we continue to move along, I know it's been a long day here.
Yep.
We're hanging tough, moving something Cyrus rising. Everybody rise. I can't sing. They tell me to quit my day job. But I can't do it because we're here to honor Helical, the Khemetic transition of the White and Gold Lotus Temple, Stone Mountain, Georgia. He has the rock orchestra. That's his song. I do not own the rights to that song. He says, everybody rise, everybody rise. Rise for something, something rising. Everyone should know their past. I said, everyone should know, but they don't know nothing. They just keep running. You gotta bow your head to Africa. You got to lay your head down low, because she's our mother. You don't get no other. You gotta bow your head to Africa. You gotta bend your head down low. She's our mother. You don't get no other. The year is number 10. AFNK/ST. Small Town Weed. Small Town Weed. Small Town Weed. Come on, man. Come on, get a little music. Got a little help.
Come on, hook him up, man. You know what I mean? Come on,
The drums, man. The drums, man.
I mean, what
Back
y'all
to
doing?
the beach, man.
This is a tough crowd.
Come on.
This is a tough crowd. This is Comedy Central. It's a tough crowd. Tough crowd. I'm in the front row. Trying to keep a little humor here today, everybody. But we're here to support and to pay honor to the great Siva, Helical of the White Gold Lotus Temple, Shrine of Amen Ra, Stone Mountain, Georgia. He taught everything he spent the last 60 years of his life preserving our future perpetual existence in our cultural spirituality. He spent every day fighting for our spirituality so that we can remember. So I'm here to honor him also. Barry Gaither was just here. I heard. And I said, I wish I had to do it. I said I was on the stage. But I'd have had Barry come here and explain to you why we're not inside the museum in the Royal Burial Chamber and that's some 50 sculptures. Because what we want to do is to get the full flavor of the experience of immortality. I reconstructed this tomb 31 years ago. It's been there for 31 years. No one even knows that if you go in there inside that chamber, you can receive immortality.